Welcome back to Car Operation, where we bring history back to life on four wheels. Today, we're diving deep into a special era in automotive history, the early 1930s. Specifically, we're reviewing old trucks built between 1930 and 1935. These machines weren't just vehicles, they were tools of survival and progress during one of the toughest periods in modern history, the Great Depression. Starting with the exterior, trucks from this era were all about function over form, but their rugged beauty can't be denied. Take the 1931 Ford Model AA or the 1934 Dodge KC, for example. These trucks featured heavy steel bodies with exposed fenders, large round headlights, vertical grilles, and wooden bed floors. Paint choices were simple, mostly black, gray, or dark green, but the build quality was robust. Most trucks had running boards, external spare tires, and pronounced hoods with side vents for engine cooling. Every curve and rivet reflected a no-nonsense approach to utility. These trucks weren't built for comfort, they were built to haul, to tow, and to last. Moving inside, the interior of a 1930s truck is far from what we consider comfortable today, but it tells a fascinating story. The cabin space was minimal, with bench seating that usually accommodated two people, maybe three if you squeezed in tight. Upholstery was either basic leatherette or rough cloth. The dashboard was made of painted metal, with very few dials, usually just a speedometer, an ammeter, and sometimes an oil pressure gauge. There were no radios, no air conditioning, and definitely no power steering. Ventilation came from manually opening the windshield or side vents. Despite all that, sitting in the driver's seat of one of these trucks gives you a powerful sense of connection to the past. No distractions, just you, the machine, and the road ahead. Under the hood, these trucks were powered by reliable inline 4 or inline 6 engines, typically producing anywhere from 40 to 80 horsepower. That might sound weak by today's standards, but back then, it was plenty for what was needed. The 1934 Chevrolet pickup, for example, featured a 206 cubic inch 6-cylinder engine that produced 60 horsepower, paired with a 3-speed manual transmission. Most trucks topped out at around 50 miles per hour, and the gearing was tuned for torque, not speed. That means they could haul heavy loads and take a beating without breaking down. They had solid front axles, leaf spring suspension, and rear-wheel drive. Braking was entirely mechanical, with drum brakes on all four wheels. Not very effective by modern standards but cutting edge at the time. Now let's talk about pricing. Back in the 1930s, you could buy one of these trucks for anywhere between $400 and $700 brand new. Adjusted for inflation, that's roughly $8,000 to $14,000 today. In today's classic car market, prices vary widely depending on condition, rarity, and originality. A fully restored Ford Model AA or Chevrolet Series CB truck can fetch anywhere from $20,000 to $45,000. Unrestored but running examples might go for $8,000 to $15,000. Rare models in mint condition, especially with matching numbers, can even exceed $60,000 at auction. These old trucks aren't just vehicles, they're historical artifacts on wheels. They tell the story of a generation that had to make do with very little, and yet managed to build machines that are still alive nearly a century later. So if you're lucky enough to see one or own one, you're not just holding onto a truck, you're preserving a piece of history. That's it for today's review on Car Operation. If you enjoyed this deep dive into 1930s trucks, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more classic vehicle content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next ride.